We will now discuss how you can acquire not only invulnerability, but also all the other qualities of the new man: invincibility, fearlessness, freedom, etc. Through expansion of consciousness, a new way of thinking, and a new mental attitude. Immortality is a state of the consciousness. It is acquired, as we had just said, through right thinking, which leads to an expanded consciousness and eventually to a new mental attitude. I am a soul, and therefore immortal. We had discussed earlier, invulnerability is a state of the consciousness and a mental attitude. This is true not only physically. Your soul is not affected by injury to or even death of the body, but also psychically. Insults, disrespect, mockery, humiliation, and belittlement do not affect a high consciousness. If only we remain aware of the eternal at any moment, we do not suffer from fleeting time. You no longer succumb to dejection, depression, melancholy, discontent, despair, pusillanimity, grief, sorrow, or self-pity. You are superior, high above the worldly affairs, and not affected by them. In practical terms, invulnerability is the most important and fundamental property of a spirit being. Watch again our video Exercise Invulnerability. Practice this attitude constantly so that it becomes a habit and eventually turns into a quality. Invincibility is a state of your being. It is acquired through right thinking, an expanded consciousness, and the new mental attitude of an immortal. I am imperishable and invulnerable, and therefore invincible. Aren't you promising too much? If a whole gang of robbers attacks me, surely I will be defeated. Indeed, on the physical plane, no one is invincible. You are being persecuted and crucified like Jesus and others. The fate of your body, however, which will soon perish anyway, is insignificant. The crucial point is that your true inner being, your eternal individuality, is not defeated and dragged down, but preserves in every situation, unshakably, its identity as an immortal disciple of the Brotherhood or King of the Spirit. That solely depends upon you yourself, namely upon your attitude. Fearlessness and freedom are states of the consciousness. They are acquired through correct thinking. Nobody and nothing can harm a spirit being, so I have nothing to fear. I have nothing to fear, so I am completely free to do only that which is proper and right. Contrary to popular belief, freedom is not something that the government or other people can grant or deny you. Freedom is within you yourself. This true inner freedom is the new mental attitude of the immortal man of the future. The feature distinguishing high spirits from others is a firm awareness that their inner I is indissoluble, and from this consciousness is born the concept of a higher freedom. By purity is meant, of course, above all, mental purity, which comes about through pure thoughts. If you think purely, you are pure. Purity, therefore, is obtained through mastery of thoughts. See our video of the same name. You only allow thoughts to arise that correspond to your higher self and reject all others. That wisdom is acquired through expansion of consciousness and proper thinking is obvious to everyone through higher knowledge and an understanding of the fundamentals and laws of existence as imparted by Agni Yoga. Therefore, only an Agni Yogi can be a new man. Isn't that just as fanatical and outdated as the idea that only those who believe in Jesus Christ will go to heaven, and all others are heathens who will roast in hell? No, those who do not recognize or accept this knowledge necessary for the Aquarian age, nor procure it from another source, or draw it from themselves, lack the foundation for the superiority of the new man in every situation. As a therapist, my wife deals with sick and dying people. Here, spiritual is much more important than physical help. The patients have existential questions. Why does this illness hit me, of all people? Why do I have to suffer so much? How can I overcome it? What happens after my death? These questions can only be answered. A way out can only be shown, and true consolation only be given with the knowledge of the fundamentals of existence: karma, reincarnation, the meaning of life, the meaning of suffering, the benefits of obstacles, the conditions in the higher world, etc. What has vitality to do with thinking? Well, what do we mean by vitality? Not muscles, not mastery of circumstances, which is often impossible, but an attitude which reads, I can cope with any situation. I go my way unswervingly and pursue my goal unshakably. I do not let failure get me down. I never give up, but try again and again. I do not let myself be dragged down. To maintain this true power in any situation is an expression of spiritual strength, of a great store of psychic energy. The new man differs from the old one in that he is always in a joyful state of mind. Is not joy a feeling? No, joy of being is a mental attitude with which you face even the most horrible circumstances. It comes through expansion of consciousness and right thinking. Joy is a special wisdom. Joyful thoughts, continuously cultivated, become a habit, eventually a property, and in time make you a positive, cheerful, sunny person. Watch again our video, Joy, a Special Wisdom. What kind of joy then shall be possible in the terrible conditions that prevail on earth these days? You rejoice in your true supermundane existence, in the purity, greatness, strength, beauty and dignity of your soul in its ideal state, the fiery condition. You enjoy the life of your eternal individuality in its supermundane home, in a sanctuary, in the ashram of your teacher. You feel at ease in the proximity of your spiritual father and your soulmates. You rejoice in the beautiful and just cosmic order which puts you exactly in that place and in that situation where you can continue to do meaningful work and go on learning. What about material pleasures? They cannot satisfy a being of spirit. You change your mind. For an immortal, the greatest pleasure of the day is not an opulent supper in the evening with a glass or two of red wine, but a spiritual delight. Meditation, the intimate dialogue with his teacher. Once you have really transformed and are constantly in a state of high vibration, you no longer respond to the gross, low vibrations of alcohol, meat, sweets, and other physical delights. You will find out yourself what earthly pleasures you will have to give up in order to remain in the enjoyment of this higher bliss. Austere is the path of approach to brotherhood. Earthly joys leave us, but much higher and deeper joys come to take their place. Joy is the synthesis of the qualities of the new man and the indicator of the health of his spirit.